be giving you 3 pro tips on how to avoid this flat, lifeless hair and how to get extra volume, extra life, fabulous, sky-high hair. What other adjectives can I think of? None. Tip number 1, products. You need to make sure that you are using the right products and that you're using them properly. The first tip is when you get into the shower to shampoo and condition your hair, use a volumizing shampoo and conditioner. I've been using the ones from Gliss lately. They come in the purple bottle. You can find them at Walmart. When you go into shampoo, please make sure you are rinsing and repeating. It is not printed on the bottle just because they're trying to sell you extra shampoo. It really works. From what I understand, soaps and shampoos are mechanical cleaning agents, as in it's actually the physical act of lathering and getting the soap in there and rinsing all of those bubbles away that get the dirt and the grime and the grossness out of your hair. It's physically picking up the dirt into the bubbles and the lather and whatever and rinsing it out. You'll notice that if you do shampoo twice, your second shampoo is going to be way more lathery and soapy. And I think that's because when you go on with your first shampoo, it's just only kind of hitting the surface, and it's that second shampoo that really gets in there past all that surface dirt and oil and really cleans away all of the yucky grime throughout the week. Because if you're like me and you're a dry shampoo fiend, you need to make sure you're properly cleaning your hair. If you're not, when you get out and you go to style, you may still have excess product left over, and it's just going to weigh it down and it's going to make it heavy and flat, and it's just not a good recipe for voluminous hair. So shampoo, condition, then when I get out of the shower, I typically let it air dry throughout the night. I shampoo at night, let it air dry. As I sleep, I wake up in the morning to this. It's damp in the ends, a little damp in the roots, but not too much. Then I take a volumizing spray. This is from the same brand, Gliss. It's their extra volume lift up spray. It has some sort of collagen element to it that is supposed to give it extra volume. So I will go through spray throughout. I try to focus it in the root area because that's the area that we need to give the most support to lift up. So then when I get into blow drying, I believe this will be tip number 2. I'm not going to blow dry like this. This is what plain Jane flat hair looks like. When you do this, the heat from the blow dryer is training your hair to lie flat, which is great if you're trying to avoid frizz, but it's not great for volume. You're going to be done and it's going to be like this, and no matter how much styling you try to do with a curling iron or a teasing comb or hairspray or whatever, these roots, they're down, they're good to go. That's where they want to live. So a way to get your roots trained to be going up and not be blowing against the hair and causing frizz is to blow dry like this. I will always try to point my hair at a 90-degree angle away from the root where it touches the scalp. And I'm not going to blow down because that will cause frizz, because you're causing the cuticles of the hairs to kind of come up in a way. You want to lay those flat, but since you want your roots to be going up, you'll blow like this, with the grain of the hair, but up and away from the scalp. If that's too difficult for you to sort of maneuver, you can always do the trick where you flip your head upside down and blow like that. That's what that's good for. It's giving you volume. So that's trick number 2. Make sure you're going up and away from the scalp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. I'll probably fast forward through it in this video so you don't have to sit here and watch me blow dry my hair. And then I'll be back with tip number 3 and actually styling it into wavy, beachy, summertime curls. So I'm pretty much blow dried, and if you can tell, there's already a little bit of a kind of like, there's a little bit of something happening here. So that's partially from the root styling spray, and that's partially from the fact that I was making sure to always blow dry up and away from the scalp. So what I'm going to do now is kind of brush through, make sure I didn't get any kind of tangles in there, and then I'm going to go through and style it. Today I'm just going to go for typical summer beachy waves. Now that my hair is sectioned out, I'm going to start going around my head and curling. All the pieces that are next to my face, I try to curl in an away motion, but to give it sort of a natural, not super styled feel, I will change that up as I'm going around the back of my head. I'll do a couple going this way and a couple going that way. So that's what I'm going to do. When I really want to make sure that it lasts throughout the day, I'll hit it with a little bit of hairspray, just a very fine mist before I curl it. I don't want to soak the hair because then you're putting wet hair on a hot iron and that just doesn't sound healthy to me. So I'm just going to spray it a little bit, and just like when we blow dry, I'm going to be pulling up and away from the scalp because I don't want a heavy curl hanging down here and a lifeless flat root area. So what I like to do is sort of, instead of just like ripping it out, I'll take this and sort of pulse it through and continue to kind of pulse as I pull it out. Now I have a nice wave. Here's trick 3. When you are done heating, you may notice if you've ever gone to get an updo or if you've ever been to a salon and had them curl your hair for a special event. I just went out there to talk to Hudson and to shut the door. He's obviously not learned the lesson that I'm trying to impart to him, but Holland is asleep on the floor and it's so cute. She refused to nap today. So anyway, so the reason that when you are getting your hair styled after they curl it, the reason that they pin it up to your head is when you heat your hair follicles and you sort of mold them into a shape, you are giving them that shape, but unless you allow it to cool down in that shape as well, it may not stay as well. So when you pin it, you're giving it the opportunity to have a longer life and just really stick it out longer. So since this is an everyday curl tutorial, I don't have time for all that. So what I typically do is I will curl it and then I'll just hold it here for like 2-3 seconds. I'll maybe even just kind of bounce it and scrunch it a little bit. But the point is I don't want to just allow it to completely fall back into place. So I try to encourage it to stay in that curled form. That was tip 3. After you curl it, don't just allow it to fall. Either pin it up or just kind of scrunch it up a couple times as it cools. So I'm going to continue to go around my head and curl. I think Hudson's just going to yell throughout this whole video. If I seem lifeless today, it's not because I'm not happy to be here. It's because the kids woke me up around 3 a.m. and then I ended up, Hudson came and crawled in our bed, and there's just, even though we have a king, Jamie and I are pretty big people, it's just not a lot of room for us to have a kid in here. So I got up and I went and slept in his bed, which is a tiny little twin, and it's just not super comfortable. And at that point I had to be up in 3 hours because I had to go volunteer, well not volunteer, I had to go work at the nursery at our church. So it's just been a long day with little sleep. If you read my last blog post where I kind of talked about my struggles with anxiety, you're probably well aware that I just have not been sleeping lately, and I've just only been kind of just like going on 3, if I'm lucky, 4 or 5 hours of sleep and a lot of coffee, and that is just no way to live. And I feel like it honestly keeps me from like even having a personality. Like, I went to a birthday party yesterday, and for like a kid's birthday party yesterday, and I really genuinely love some of the moms that were there and just want to talk to them, but it's just like my brain is just dead. But I mean, I guess this is just what it's like having kids at this age, and I will hopefully eventually grow out of this stage and get more sleep. Although, you know, I'm pretty sure when your kids are 17 or 18 and they're out at night, you're not sleeping much either. And just like that, we are magically curled and big. You have a couple options of how you can style the hair. Sometimes, if I really don't want curls necessarily, but I'm just trying to go for like a nice wavy bend, I will take a brush and literally brush it straight out. And I know that sounds crazy after you just did all that work. Why would you do that? But the heart wants what the heart wants, and sometimes it just wants a nice bend. You know what I mean? But that's not what I'm going to do today. Today what I'm going to do is leave it curly, but give it a little bit more of a messy, kind of beachy look. So what I do is I will just take my hands and sort of play with the curl. I don't want to pull on each curl too much, because then you're starting to potentially lose the curl altogether. So I kind of just like to take my hands and sort of like just bat at it a little bit. Let your fingers sort of come through at a small amount, but not too much. Kind of do this trick into your roots to give it a little bit more life. And there you have some loose, wavy curls. What I do very often is I will take some kind of hair oil, because I do process and bleach my hair, and I will just very lightly coat the ends of my hair. Just so they don't look too fried and there's not too many flyaways happening. And then I may even take, because I told you I am a dry shampooing fiend, I may even take a dry shampoo or a dry texturizing spray and sort of kind of spray it in here just to give it a little bit more lift and just a little bit more product to help those curls stay. And that's pretty much it. I wouldn't really hit it with any more hairspray because we did that through the styling process, so it's already all in there. And those are your waves. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from all of these random little tidbits of knowledge that I have. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button over here. You can also subscribe to this channel. I don't post very often. I try to post at least once or twice a month. It's not a lot, but like this is sort of just a supplemental channel to go with my blog. And if you do subscribe, you will always know when I post a new video. So, press the subscribe button right now. Stop what you're doing look away from my face, look down at the subscribe button, and click it. I'm waiting for you to do it. Did you do it? Good for you. Great choice. I will see you next time. Have an awesome Monday. Have an awesome week at work. I will see you soon. And bye-bye. To get just a really nice, soft, loose wave, I would... Because of the length of my hair, I really should... As the